Okay.
Thank you. So I'm gonna talk about AI-assisted research and creative activities. And this work is common with my two co-PIs, Dr. Topkos from Farmingdale and Dr. Solano from Oneonta. So I'm going to talk about the project goals and the first part, which is survey design, results, and current and future steps. So we have an RTG grant with three co-PIs, myself, Dr. Bichindaritz, Dr. Topkos, and Dr. Solano for this year. And our grant is about creating an AI research assistant, an AI-powered research assistant to optimize generative AI tools for research. Our project team is a little bit bigger than the three of us. We have collaborators from University of Buffalo, SUNY Optometry Upstate, and two other faculty members from SUNY Farmingdale, which covers many disciplines. So the project goals were originally three, and there are still three. The first aim was to create and disseminate knowledge. So we're going to create knowledge and disseminate knowledge on AI-assisted tools and methods for research and creative activities. The second aim is to create a course on enhancing research and creative activities through AI-assisted technologies. The third aim is to create and make available a personalized AI or a chatbot blueprint capable of conversing with users within their research context, built on the previously collected information and course, and enriched through retrieval augmented generation from the collected literature. So the idea is that to create a good chatbots about research, we need to collect knowledge and create new knowledge. And that's why the first two aims are required before the third. So again, it's only a one-year grant. So right now we have made progress on all fronts, but mostly the survey. So that's what I'm gonna talk about today is a survey. The survey has two audiences. One was, and still is, surveys are still open. So I give the links here. I encourage you to fill in the survey. The more we have data, the better. And also the students as well. The faculty survey had 40 questions, including the consent. We had 61 respondents, and it was approved by IRB first at SUNY Oneonta and SUNY Oswego, and it's still under review at SUNY Farmingdale, even though at Oneonta it was approved like in September. And so it's just to tell you, on some campuses, the IRB is extremely stringent. And one of the issues we have faced with this survey, which was designed for SUNY-wide spread, there is no SUNY-wide IRB approval process, which has slowed down considerably the spread of the survey, even though it was spread through the faculty senate. And John has also spread it very kindly, but we are still open for this survey. Probably going to leave it for 1 year, and we're going to spread over beyond SUNY as well. About the sectors for the faculty, we see that so far we have a majority of respondents, both for the faculty and the students, from comprehensive campuses, some from health sciences, statutory and specialized tech schools, and university centers. 96.77% respondents were full-time faculty members, and 58.06% had tenure. So this is repeated here, about the rank of the faculty, we see most are we have some professors, associate professors, assistant professors. There's a vast majority of respondents. In terms of students, originally we advertise a survey as for graduate students, so that's why we have a vast majority of master's students, but we have some PhD students as well, and also we have some undergraduates as well, and definitely it can be filled in by undergraduate. It's one of the options that they can select. So now, in terms of academic area, we see that there is some kind of balance, particularly in the faculty between STEM, humanities, social sciences, and others. For the students, we just ask for their major, and then we use a clustering provided by the analytical tools. And so it looks like a lot of the students are from health informatics, education technology. So we are the PIs there. So that's why, but yeah, we need to spread to more disciplines, particularly for the students, as we can see. The gender, most in the faculty, it's pretty much balanced between male and female. I don't know why. I'm going to check about that. No, I think here it's 45. Sorry, it's 45-16. And for the student, it's a majority of women, probably because it's education and health informatics disciplines. We have a majority of female students. Race and ethnicity, no surprise, it's a majority white and Caucasian, with and we see that we have more diversity actually in the students than in the faculty, unfortunately, but it's probably not a surprise. Now, the first question well, I'm not presenting all the results because it would be too much. We have first question, well, one question I've selected is, what is your current integration of AI tools in research practices, if at all? And we see that mostly it's for writing assistance, literature review, and checking grammar. And for the student, it's almost the same, except they're not doing much literature review as much, and they are doing more brainstorming, research, and methodology. So the use is a little bit different between the two. About the question about current integration of AI tool, then in the students, if you can see, there are 5 who said other. There was no other in the faculty. And we see it's interesting, they say, assisting in breaking down concepts learned in class, uploading a rubric and checking to make sure I've hit all the points, which is an assignment that I gave to my students. So rewording, simplifying questions, checking code to find errors, and only when the assignment specifies it. So they have a little bit more ideas about other uses pretty much of AI tools for research than the faculty members apparently. Now, about confidence using AI tools in your research, it's about the same between faculty and student, about 50% are confident. About the frequency of use, faculty, it's about 31%, students 37%. So it's not the majority yet. Now, about the AI tools used for faculty, very similar for students. Most of them are the generic chatbots like ChatGPT, etc. It's the vast majority, but there are also, again, writing and editing tools and search engines. And not as much of the other type of tools that we asked about. And then for the students, it's even more majority about chatbots and bots and writing and text editing and a little bit of data analysis, but it's really the top 2 are really the most used. Then we had also a question about the impact of AI on their research process outcomes. So there is a positive, for those who have used it, it's a positive 73%. And for the students, 84%. So the impact, there is a positive view on the impact on their personal research. This is analyzed from the text. So this is a sentiment analysis of what their response is. Then we had a number of questions about how they learned about the AI tools for research. And we see it's a little bit here as well. It's semantic clustering from the software I've been using SurveyMonkey. So it's a little bit different between the faculty and the students. So here, professional recommendation for the student, I imagine it's also from their professors. But they also explored. So the green means it's a positive view, and orangey would be kind of neutral. Now, what would I like to see? What would I want in terms of AI support? Again, the faculty majority, and it's very similar actually between the faculty and the students, except that it's even more, if you see the numbers are higher even for the students. So literature review information, which is the current use, but they want more of that. Writing and editing, they want more of that. And in addition, which was not as much used, they want more help with their data analysis and visualization, both on the left and on the right, both faculty and students. And then I've not yet had time to look into these responses. But the other uses for research tasks we see are still very, very limited, I think, both for faculty and for students. So that's an area probably that needs to be developed so that faculty understand that there is more in AI than just literature review, writing, editing. So data analysis already they want more. Not using it much for data analysis so far, but that's something that they see as very important. But there are many, many other types of uses for research that they don't seem to have an idea yet about. So I think that's an interesting takeaway. I have a slide at the end about the takeaways that I'm going to summarize. Then we had a question about general perception of AI in academic research. So for faculty, 43% were positive, but the students, highly positive, 85%, the general perception. Now, when we ask whether AI is positively transforming the research landscape in their field, it's more moderate. It's still, 40% of faculty are more positive about the impact on their field and 55% of students. This is currently. And we see also that the red are the negatives. The faculty thinks about research quality and integrity, there seems to be a negative impact. AI integration, it's more green than red. Etc. So you see academic writing support, again, definitely there is a positive about that. You see the view of students is much more positive overall. So again, these themes have been clustered according to the written answers. So you see much more green on the student side than the faculty side. And of course, we asked about the concerns as well, the ethical concerns about AI in research. There is a lot of, on both sides, actually, there is much more concern. You see 90%, over 90% concern about misuse or over-reliance, while it's only 70% in students. It's still the highest in both. Misuse or over-reliance, like just copying pretty much from AI. Plagiarism is also a main concern. Now, in terms of data privacy, there is more concern from faculties and students, and mostly the faculty have another concern that the students don't have as much, also a little bit, so more than 40%. It's about intellectual property of authors. So there is a lot in common, but more stronger ethical concern from faculty, and the intellectual property is a concern for faculty members. Then we asked about the biggest benefits of AI in academic research for faculty and students. Again, writing and editing tools are at the top for both. Enhanced literature review. And then faster data analysis would also be a benefit, mostly even higher for students. So The risks or drawbacks you associate with AI in research. Of course, all of these are in red because, of course, these are all negative views. AI accuracy and reliability is at the top for faculty members, which is the same, like again, this is clustered automatically by SurveyMonkey. So information accuracy, it's probably similar. So it's interesting, they're very similar at the top. Then the AI overuse and dependence we talked about, it's still a concern. And this is definitely within the ethical and legal risks and concern. There is also a concern from the faculty about the creativity and originality as well. And environmental impact is as well a concern. We also asked about the support that faculty and students receive regarding AI tools for research. What is the institutional support? Do they think it's adequate? Well, only 32% find it adequate. So these are two different questions, and 46. So these are clustered from the written responses, and this was asked specifically. So maybe this one is more reliable, but both are important. So it's definitely around 40%. They think they receive enough support from their institution regarding AI tools and AI use for research. The kinds of training desired, both the AI training, workshops and specific training, like maybe courses, that would be for majority of faculty, 42%. Students only 22%, but there is also the students want to be taught AI ethics and responsibility in particular, and AI tools guidance. And this is AI tool and diversity and comparison would be similar. So these two, the top two are the same for students and faculty. It's interesting that students want to be taught learn more about AI ethics and responsible use. They often don't know exactly how to use the tools responsibly. Then we asked whether AI is essential for the future of research in their fields. The faculty, 46% said yes, so it's not even a majority. But the students, 63%, vast majority. And whether there is a concern about the long-term implications of AI on academic integrity and originality. And definitely 75% of faculty are concerned about that, and 72% of students. So even though students value AI, they also have very important concerns for the long term about academic integrity and originality, and probably they are concerned overall about AI in the future. So I think maybe I'm at the end. And so we also asked whether there is a need of institutional policies on AI use in research. 85% of faculty said yes, and 72% of students said yes. So there is a huge ask for policies and guidance about the use of AI in research. Now, current and future step. We have here a website that has been created, SUNY-AI-RA.info. On this website, I'm going to post additional information. We have started listing tools for AI and research activities. The website is operational. We are updating it constantly. We have created a committee of practice on AI-assisted research and creative activities. Still not yet a lot of activity, but definitely in the spring, there's going to be much more. We have been working on a course that should be available in the spring for free for those who want to test it. And the AI research assistant itself is planned for end of spring and summer testing. And to follow on that, we want to turn this course into a micro-credential and a certificate, because there are other, the course is the first step, but there are many other topics about AI for research activities and creative activities. On the website in particular, there is a form to review the tools. There are over 167 tools on AI for research. And so we're in the process of reviewing them, and this form is available to everyone who wants to submit a review, and the review then is automatically integrated to the website. So the takeaway is that it's not easy to send a research survey SUNY-wide because there are important IRB restrictions on each campus. The faculty use AI tools in their research or creative activities 31% of the time, and students 37% of the time. General perception of these tools is mitigated from faculty, 43% positive, but very positive for students. The confidence using the tools is at about 50% for both. The current use of these tools focuses mainly on writing assistance, grammar, vocabulary, and literature reviews, which is, in my opinion, very limited. Other types of use are very limited, except for students who also use brainstorming activities using these tools. So in a sense, students seem a little bit looking at broadening the use of the AIs. They probably rely more on the AIs than the faculty members. Most AI tools used are generic chatbots, text editing tools, and search engines. Faculty and students desire more help from AI in data analysis, visualization, and other research tasks, but it seems that they have a limited view really about what AI is capable of. Faculty and students have ethical concerns about AI in research, namely misuse and over-reliance, plagiarism and originality issues, and data privacy. Faculty are very concerned with intellectual property and authors. All would like more institution support, training and resources, and policies. The overall forecast on academic integrity and originality is over 70% negative for all. I think there is a general concern about the future. I think it's not only about academic integrity and originality, it's about the impact on society, and particularly in research. For the future, I think everybody has some concern about that. Both faculty and students the same. So I want to acknowledge this grant funding. Thank you. And so that's all for my presentation. And let me know if you have any questions, and don't hesitate to contact me for further questions or involvement in this project. So we're gonna search for faculty members to use our proposed course, which is gonna be free. Thank you.
Isabelle, Ramin here.
Oh, hi, Ramin.
How are you?
Good, thank you.
That was really helpful. I really appreciate it. We are looking at different AI tools, some of which kind of tell you that they're not going to train their models using your information. Others don't make that kind of a commitment. Was that a nuance of consequence for people in thinking through the IP issues that AI presents or not? Meaning, I mean, if you're in a system that guarantees that it's not going to use your information that you're giving it, are people less worried, or it doesn't have an effect?
No, I think they are very worried about that. So we know that it's not simple. We know that even when these companies say they're not going to use the information provided without approval, we know that they don't follow what they said. So there is, yes, a huge concern about that. A lot of universities now provide tools to their faculty. So we have Gemini and Notebook LM. And SUNY is preparing SUNY AI, which is, last news I've heard, is going to be based on Gemini. So it's going to be provided SUNY-wide to all faculty members, and they're going to be able to use it both for teaching and research activities. So I think it's better to use an institutional AI than to use it outside. And part of the work we're going to do, actually, what I want to do in the research assistant is exactly is to create a recommender system to recommend to faculty members exactly based on their concerns, their main constraints and concerns, which tools would be best to use. And definitely there are different options. Either you can use a tool online, you can use, which is not what we will recommend, or you can use institutional, so it's already more protected, or you can install the tool and then you can have more full control over what the tool accesses. And so it's probably the best option is to either use the institutional one or the one that you install on your computer so that you know you control exactly. Anyway, that's exactly what we're gonna discuss in the research assistant. So recommend tools with all the limitations, the risks, the cost, etc. Yeah.
Okay, we do have to end so people can get to the next session, which starts in about 3 minutes.
Okay, thank you.
But one other ethical issue is pretty much all the models were already trained on materials that they didn't have ethical or legal access to. So even if new information is not being put in them, the main body of training was often done on copyrighted work without permission and so on. So,
okay, thank you. Yeah.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you
was really
much.
good.
Okay, thanks.
Are you presenting at CA?